Welcome everybody. Welcome to the Amethyst Club. Welcome to Biohacking for Entrepreneurs, hosted by the Amethyst Club and Global Systemic Activation with Javier Capitaine. Very excited to have you all here. Thank you for joining. We started with a little bit of delay. We're just figuring out some things, but very excited to have you guys here today with us. We're going to learn a lot. This is my favorite and most anticipated workshop for Amethyst Club, and I'm very lucky to be joined by Javier Capitaine today. I'll tell you about him in just a second. I just wanted to let you know that if you guys do want to sign up for Amethyst Club, you have the link right there on the bottom, amethystclub.io. We're going to be hosting a lot of learning sessions like this one on the platform. This is just a little bit of a freebie so you guys can experience some of the amazing courses and workshops that we have over there. But I don't want to talk to you guys too much. I want to let this legend speak. So I'm going to introduce you to him very quick. I'm very excited to introduce Javier Capitaine, or the way that I like to call him, and his friends call him Capi. He's not just a physical education professor, but he's also the brain behind GSA, Global Systemic Activation. GSA is an integrated systemic methodological approach for the design, implementation, and management of complexity in educational processes, training, and coaching. Capi's journey was inspired by his love for martial arts and the Bushido Code. He's all about helping others transform themselves, and that's what he's going to help you out with today. He's scaled in so many areas, including high performance athletics, ontological coaching, systemic biology, psychology, applied neurosciences, complexity science, programming, data science, and biohacking, of course. He also holds a degree in criminology and is an expert in intelligence analysis. He's worked with some of the very well-known high-performance athletes, and it's a pretty hefty list. It includes David Nalbandian, Diego Vysotsky, Guillermo Coria, Juan Carlos Ferrero, Janko Tipsarevic, Maria Sharapova, Grigor Dimitrov, Nicolas Almagro, Fabio Fonini, Diana Negranu, Dusan Lajovic, Esteban Guerreri, Kyra Shroff, and Maria Hidalgo Perlas. He probably wanted me to name only a few of those, but I think every single one of those is worth the mention. Over the past 13 years, I've been very lucky to call him a friend, a coach, and a sensei. He's been one of my biggest supporters and a huge guide. I'm very grateful for him agreeing to this workshop today. And by the way, Amethyst Club is possible in big part because of him. So with that in mind, I want you all to give a warm welcome to Javier Capitaine. Capi, welcome to Amethyst Club.
Thank you very much, Vlad. I am really excited to be here with all the community, all your community, all the people with really interested in this. I cannot say universe of biohacking, because universe referring to one version of the reality. We have a multiverse of biohacking. A lot of people working in this domain, trying to create new possibility, making a step forward of the psychology, medicine, biology, neuroscience. In our case, we have the possibility to share with you not only research, not only a lot of years studying and like giving classes in the university, but a lot of years working with people and trying to find a way to express the best version in this really fascinating world of the high performance, working with athletes from the beginning to the high level. I want to say thank you to Vlad first, to be the mentor of this event. My team, Kyra, Diana, and Juan, always working together and making me progress a lot in all the domains. For me, it's a very important moment, because it's one of the anticipating I have to present one book about biohacking that we are working on with my team. And also I want to put clear in this table that I know Vlad from from the beginning of his school. We met long time ago. I mean, more or less 20, when he was studying and training in tennis in Barcelona. And it's interesting because for me, this moment is like a dream. Starting to do a lot of things in our professional domain. So thank you very much again.
Thank you so much, Capi. It means a lot to me to have you here today, and I think we can dive straight in with probably the number one question that most of the people today have, which is, what is biohacking? What is biohacking? Let's start with that.
Okay. Also, I want to share with all the community that this presentation is a consequence of, not a consequence of like I want to show off what I know, and I want to impress the people with a lot of knowledge and information. This is the consequence of our conversation. We have a coaching processes running long time with Vlad, and this presentation is the consequence, is the result of our reflection, our fierce conversation about this subject, this domain that is growing, and make us be all the time updating the knowledge, updating the information, being in the same page with a lot of version of the reality we have in this community. But basically, biohacking make reference or referring to is something that happened that come out from the hacking concept. The hackers know a lot about computer and vulnerabilities and different way to have privileged access to the system to obtain benefits. And this is exactly what we do. But when we talk about biohacking, we will see the slides. We are talking about the possibility to modify, promote, or block different functions with the intention to improve health, performance, sexuality, training, education, and different aspects that improve the quality of life. Now, I will start with this presentation. Now, one moment. And I want to give you one perspective about what we will talk. Of course, we have time is always tiring, so we will be all the time going to the point, and for sure we will have another opportunity to go deeper in this interesting domain. First one, we will create the context, establishing the necessary basis to think that is an excellent reflection, because normally in this moment with the big data, with all the information, we have a lot of version, we have a lot of deceptive information, knowledge and post, and it's very difficult to have one position, one posture, basically based on make decisions, no? Like we will be sharpening the sword and understanding our understanding and biases. After we will go in direct to the point to understand exactly why we can use biohacking, what are the pros. It's interesting, but the first process, we don't have cons, and understand this biohacking in the simple way, like small changes, exponential results. And after we will go direct to question and answer, that is interesting to interact with the audience and share also your reflection on where you what you can have in terms of curiosity. First reflection is interesting. Nothing extraordinary happens in an ordinary body. Everything that we call transformation happening in and from our biological structure. Without intervention in the body, there is no transformational processes. What I mean? What that mean? It's exactly the problem we have with our education, our belief. We confuse, we have information, so we have the solution. Okay, I will go to talk with someone and I will change the habit. And therapists, coaches, doctor, educator, we know perfectly that this is not like this. It's not like this. What happened is you cannot change the habit if you have a problem with the food, if you don't have enough sleep, if you don't have organizing your timetable, if you don't move, if you don't work out, and basically if you are eating in the bad way. You eat bad, you think bad. You think bad, you cannot perform, you cannot feel good, you cannot be in balance with the health. So what happened? Normally, in this world of the social media, data, post, articles, and very easy access to all the information, we have the tendency to think, oh, I read one article about strength, so I am becoming to experiment a high level of hypertrophy. It's not like this. Also we have the in mind, oh, okay, no, I will try one program. We try one program, and what about the workout? No, I don't have result. I stopped because I didn't have result. Okay. How long time you went to the gym? A couple of weeks. I mean, 3 times per week is 6 sessions. So 6 sessions and you are waiting for result is more or less like a try to become the best doctor in the world in the first month of the university. So we have our mind, our understanding a little bit this with a big part of distortion, and we call bias, we call fallacy. So we will talk a bit about that. Info is not important. Data is not relevant if we are not capable to connect the data, the info, to generate knowledge. And knowledge is deceptive. Our capability to process and apply them is crucial. And this is very important to understand in this moment of the big data and full of information. Because our lack of criteria multiplied by the propaganda generate what I call infoxication. Infoxication is the paralysis due to the amount of information that don't allow us to make smart decisions. And at the end, from the beginning of the story, we were looking for different information to connect the dots and generate knowledge with the goal to make better decisions. No, with the goal to have a good subject of reflection in one conversation, showing off in front of our friend or our professional community. So a lot of people, I am not criticizing anyone, I am observing what is happening, are incredible to present information and without intention are manipulating the data, generating deceptive information that confuse the people. And other thing is very, very important point also, we have to understand the fallacies. The fallacy one we are talking now is everybody talk about vitamin B is better because we can improve a lot of function. Vitamin C, you have to do this workout, and you have to wake up early, you have to do that, you have to use ice bath. Yeah. One moment. External factor is not deciding what happened as a consequence in the living system. We have one scientist from Chile passed away the last year. I had the opportunity to talk personally with him and share some information. Probably he changed the drift of the science like 35, 40 years ago. A doctor in biology in Harvard. And together with
Oh, he blocked. We lost Copy for a second. Let's see if we can get him back. That is all right. We had some problems yesterday as well with some of the connections on StreamYard. But we'll have him back in just a second. Yeah, it seems like we lost Copy, but we'll have him back. We'll have him back real soon. In the meantime, don't go anywhere. We had this little crop problem. We'll get it solved. He's already back. If you guys want to start adding your questions, that's good. And you're back.
Yes.
Murphy's Law. If something can happen, it will happen.
Yeah. Murphy's Law is Murphy's Law. No problem. One moment. Let me check if we can. Yes.
In the meantime, I'm sure you guys have some questions already. You can start thinking about them, dropping them in the comments, and I will mark them. And in the Q&A session later, we will bring them up. So any questions that you have around it, we can address. Okay, we're back. There we go.
Okay, we are. We were talking about fallacy 1 and referring to Humberto Maturana and Varela, Chilean scientists that wrote the book, The Tree of Knowledge. They have very, very clear, and they changed the drift of the science 35, 40 years ago with the concept of structural determinism. If we ignore the principle of structural determinism, we consider that all the external factors generate one specific cause, a specific effect in any living system. So normally say, oh, yes, this workout is good for everyone. No, it's not like this. We know that working every day with people. Oh, no, bread is good or bad. We don't know. I remember Bilardo, one of the head coach of the national team, Argentina, when Argentina was a world champion in Mexico. The journalist asked him, okay, coach, if you have to create the best team ever, which player you decide to put on the team? And he said with incredible, it was brilliant. Say, tell me against who we will play. Because it doesn't matter the external factor. It doesn't matter the food or the vitamin or the biohack. We have to put the focus in understand the living system receiving and interpreting this external factor. One simple example is, oh, it's so cold. No, it's too hot. If we are in 10 degrees, one Cuban or one African probably are feeling the extreme cold. But one people from Alaska is like in summer. So we don't know the effect. We know 10 degrees. After the interpretation of this number is about the characteristic of the living system, structural and functional characteristic of the living system receiving this external factor in one moment of the timeline. What I mean is could be different in different moments of the timeline. Now, Fallacy 2 is isolated goals, ignoring the concept of tiny gains. You know, tiny gains is one philosophy implemented for a lot of Olympic teams that basically base it on maths. Improving 30% of one aspect of the preparation has not relevant impact on the results. But 100% increase in 30 aspects of the preparation generates exponential gains. You know, we have the idea like, oh, no, I am training so good. It's not enough. No. I am eating perfect. It's not enough. No, but I am very good with mindfulness. It's not enough. Oh, what happened? It's like a puzzle. We need to complete all the pieces to have the complete puzzle. So we have to understand that all what we can, we maximize as a subsystem in our system, destroy the other system. This is not another thing, but the theory of John Nash, Nobel Prize of Economy, that basically talk about if you maximize one subsystem, you destroy the other system. So it's not about maximize, it's about optimize the system, finding the way to look for the better version and performance. Now, fallacy 3 is very interesting. As you know, I am very OCD with the maths. I cannot avoid. So I will be all the time giving examples with numbers. One of the big problems we have today is a lot of opinion and not based on factical evidence. And one very interesting reflection that Kyra shared with me today is the problem is we want to change the factical evidence with our judgment. And we are using a judgment to create another judgment to support the factical evidence. And it's not possible. We have to use number, factical evidence, and remember, all what we say, science say that. Who is science? Is a lady? Is fit? Is not fit? I never saw her. Where is science? Say anything. Science say nothing. Okay, all what is said for someone. So science referring to one scientist in one domain in one moment of the timeline observing one phenomenon. Is not the truth. It's one version of the truth in this domain, in this moment, with this background, with this, in this moment of the timeline. So pay attention, a simple example, a normal about addiction to conclusion. Is bread good to eat? Okay, normally this deceptive question hide one big trump. It's like yes or not, no? Because it's one kind of bread for one kind of person. So it's a binary answer. It's yes or not. But if we have three variables, three kind of bread for the same person, we have 6 possible answers. If we have 6 variables, so 5 different kind of bread with one person, we have 720 possible answers. But in the real situation, we have, is bread one concept, one distinction? We have billions of different kind of bread. Organic, no organic, with full of shit, with ultra processed, different brand, different culture, different flour, different ingredient, different nutrient, different, and with people eating this billion of different breed with different age, with different training, with different condition of health, with different weather condition, with different ethnical characteristic, with different DNA in different moments. That's why if we go just with the number to 9 variable, we had 362,800 possible answers. So it's good to stop with the addiction to conclusion. We don't have to look for recipes. We have to understand that we have to process the information to adapt to ourselves of the people working with us in the good way, and this will be changing all the time, because as a living system, the main characteristic, we are all the time changing. Happy. What are we going on about? Coming back to the first question, Vlad made me at the beginning. It is the art of accessing a system with the possibility of modifying its function to obtain benefits. So if we talk about biohacking, we refer to the art of accessing our biological structure to modify, promote, or block certain functions in order to obtain benefit in the domain of health, longevity, sexuality, and performance. But paying attention, we can apply all this knowledge in all transformational processes: education, training, coaching, rehab, therapy, and learning. And basically, with all the entrepreneur, all the professional in different domain are doing is basically learning. And I will share with you, everybody, something that Vlad shared with me. It's the T-shaped concept. If you are a doctor and you know only medicine, you cannot work today. If you are an educator and you know only mathematics, you cannot work today. So the possibility to create possibility with your specific knowledge depend of the multifaceted knowledge you can have learning about other domains. What kind of system are living systems? And what are the implications? Paying attention, we are and we work with and as complex dynamic systems. What are we talking about when we talk about complexity? Basically, I will tell you, one, we have two different systems in this conversation, no? We have complicated system and complexity system. For example, if you take a phone and you break the screen without external intervention, the screen at the moment will be broken, will be broke forever. I mean, without external intervention, we will not have a new screen. But you know, if I cut my finger, I don't go to the doctor, I am not putting some medicine, I am waiting. If it's not serious, without infection, the body will start to generate the tissue, use all the nutrients to create new skin and new tissue, a specific tissue, and in a couple of days I will start with the scar, and in some days, in some months, in a few months, probably I will not have anymore this cut. So complexity, referring to the living system with specific characteristic, we will see that can generate the mechanism that allow them to be alive, creating their structures and maintaining the shape, and also interacting with other living systems. So as a living system, the human being, we are the consequence of the structural and functional dynamic in continuous change. In GSA, the GSA logo talk about the interaction between body, mind, and emotion, acting, thinking, and feeling, generating this being in the middle. So we are the consequence of the interaction and coherence between what we act, what we feel, and what we think. Our movement, our emotion and mood, and our internal and external conversations. What are some characteristics of the living system that are important to consider? This is very important. We don't have the possibility to go deeper now, but they are self-organizing systems. They are chaotic systems. We cannot predict. The chaos refers to a type of behavior exhibited by some complex system that appear random and unpredictable, yet follows deterministic rules. The chaotic systems are highly sensitive to initial conditions, leading or seemingly random outcome over time. Are unpredictable, we cannot control, are fluctuating and exposed to disturbances. So different external factors can modify the dynamic and change the drift we think we are understanding. Why can't we apply linear dynamic in terms of cause and effect? This is incredible important when we are talking about therapy, rehab, coach, or training or education. If we train 1 hour, we will improve 10%. Okay, 2 hours, 20%, and 3 hours, 30%. No, sometimes 1 minute more, minus 400% because they get injured. Or if we train 1 hour, 10%, 1 hour, 15 minutes, 300%. So we cannot apply the law of cause and effect when we talk about living systems. These systems, they have behavior and emergent property. Emergent property are fundamental in understanding a complex system. We cannot see everything at the beginning of the process, and we become different observer with different sensitivity and with different perception during the timeline. That's why when we are talking about, for example, oh no, I know my coach, I know my coachee, it's good for him to do this workout. Is that probably yes, in this moment? You don't know now, and you don't know in the future, because we don't know what will be had, and in the moment we experiment the consequence of the training, learning, and coaching. Other thing is, we cannot reduce the living system to one formula. Computationally irreducible, fundamental uncertainty. This is very important to understand, because sometimes with the number, a lot of scientists think, okay, if we understand the mathematics, we will can manage and control all what happened in 3 weeks. We will improve 1.2% in the strength, and we will. No, it's not like this. Sometimes we practice 3 weeks and we have an gains like a 400%, and sometimes we are working like a 1 year, and when we do the test, we have -10. We cannot control the living system. Just we can reduce the grade of uncertainty. Are impossible to control. They present connectivity without causality. So we know everything is connected, but sometimes we cannot understand why and how. They are complex systems that generate exponential complexity when they work together. For example, imagine if really complex to work with one person in one face-to-face process. Yes, because it's the complexity is exponential. But the increasing of exponentiality when you work with 2 or 3 or 4 or people in team is impossible to calculate. That's why it's essential to understand complexity science to work with teams, because the dynamic of the team and people working together increase the complexity in the exponential way are very, very difficult to manage without the basic knowledge about how the living system works. They are autopoietic and operate from self-organization. Autopoiesis is one concept from Umberto Maturana and Francisco Varela. We mentioned them in a few minutes ago. So this system have a particular mechanism called autopoiesis that keep the life, keep the life, create structure, modify all the internal environment to respond to the external factor, and when the autopoiesis is done, they die. It's very simple. This is the mechanism that hold the mechanism we call life. The complex system presents different degrees of flexibility. So what we think we know is all the time changing when we work with people. I am telling you, work with people, but because probably you are not coaches, but everybody work with people, but also you can apply that working with yourself. We have to understand how we work to be smart, to plan the transformational processes with us and with other people. Understanding also the random dynamics. Random dynamic within a system referred to process or behavior that exhibit a degree of unpredictability or randomness. In complex system, randomness can play a significant role in shaping the system behaviors and evolution, contributing to its complexity. And all these systems evolve on the verge of chaos. This is relevant to understand. I heard millions of times some ridiculous sentence like, you have to do the 110%. It's very clear. They have a certificate with a tattoo in front of the face. They don't know math. They don't understand complexity science. They don't understand how the living system works. Because 100% plus 1 point, you collapse. So 100% is the verge, the border of chaos. And we cannot go over. If I put the first session on the workout, we are doing a squat, I put 30, 40 kilos, 40 kilos in bench press. Okay, it's not good. Why? We are probably not adaptation zone, but for one kid, this is close to the chaos. How we can understand that is very simple. For example, one person working out bench press, doing 3 times 6 with 100 kilos. Okay, good, great. If we put this kilo, he will improve. If we put 50, probably he will be in not adaptation zone. But if I put 200 kilo, he will collapse. That means he will break the pec or the joint, or for sure he will get injured. Exactly the same happened with the learning process. Brain reject all what the brain cannot process. And we have to be considered with us when we have to learn something. We have to understand our step by step. We don't have to try to be all the time copying the idiot influencer showing off something that they are not doing. In one moment, all my coaches, but not all, but a lot of coaches, I don't know. I am waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I am running. I am doing strength. I am doing meditation, ice bath. Okay. Great. Why? No, because this man, this other one, they say, okay. I remember one example that I will mention one person that I really admire is Jocko Willink. Say, no, because Jocko Willink did that. But Jocko Willink is one of the best commander in the world. It's an incredible trained commando. You cannot do what he does. And if you do that, how many days you will hold? 2 or 3, because after you will start to think that no, it's too much for me. So we don't have to plan and schedule. What we think we have to do is what we can hold in the timeline, the necessary time to get the result. This is one very simple and basic hack. So talking about this collapse zone, not adaptation zone, we have to fluctuate between 60 and 90%, trying to keep the average high close to 90, close to the verge, the border of chaos, but not collapsing. What is collapsing? Injury. What is collapsing? Bad performance. What is collapsing? Quit the process. In the end, everything is about average. So it doesn't matter if you are an incredible tennis player and you play 1 or 2, 3 weeks in the high level. It's not enough to have ranking. To have ranking, you have to play in a good average during 10 years. 10. And if we are working with kids of 10 years old, how long time we have in front of the timeline to work with them? 30. 30. Why 30? Yes, because at 40, the players are playing and playing final in Grand Slams. Like 20 years ago, I was talking in another conference about the tennis player will be able to play after 35 to 40. They are playing now. Because I was a genius? No, because all the statistics showed us a lot of years ago. So at the end, we have to put the focus in all the transformational processes in the average. What I mean average in terms of biohacking and transformational process to improve the quality of life, the health, performance, therapy, is not how many times per week I work out. 2 or 3. It doesn't matter. How come? It doesn't matter? No. What matters is at the end, if you have, at the end of the year, in this month, if you are doing the numbers, if you are doing the math, and you have over 150 sessions, that is one average that more than 3 per week workouts. So doesn't matter how good you are studying a couple of days, how good you are doing the workout a couple of days, 3 times per day, 3 weeks, 3 months. What really matters is at the end of the year, at the end of the 2, 3, 4 years, how many sessions and time of workout or learning of practicing you accumulate to generate biological effect in a long term. Flipping a page. How many times have we seen people training hard? How many times have we seen people studying hard? A lot of time. But have you ever seen team working on their emotion? What for? Yeah, now, yes. Now a lot of people are starting to work in the emotion with employer, with their manager, with their teams. What for? In terms of high performance, everything is defined based on the management of emotional dynamic. Doesn't matter the level of physical preparation you have, the knowledge and understanding about technical and tactical pattern. At the end, emotional dynamic define the performance and result when you compete. And it's also the same in all the other professional domain. But what happened? We were talking about, we plan with our mind, with our logical part of the brain, but execute according with our mood and emotion. So normally, I am all the time watching the same, no? Beautiful Excel, all different platform with weekly view, scheduling and timetable, full of activity, English coding, working out, waking up, blah, 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 full of shit, because in less than 1 week, they cannot hold the same protocol, because they are not thinking in what they can hold. They are thinking in what they want to do, and idealizing the processes. It's not about what we want to do, but what we can hold as a habit for necessary time to get the result. Idealization generates expectations. Expectations destroy moods and emotions. Bad mood and emotions crush results. Why? Because we destroy our confidence. If we are planning and after failing, planning, our brain says, hey, you are an asshole, you cannot do that, so you are not capable. Now, what do we know about emotion? Because it's clear. E of energy and motion of movement. So energy in movement. What is an emotion? A disposition for the action. One emotion allow us to create incredible possibility in different kind of action, restricting other kind of action. It's not the possibility we have acting in the emotion of sadness, or the emotion of bravery, or the emotion of conviction, or with the emotion of panic. But what happened? We have a clear tendency to use terms and concepts we know nothing about. So I invite you to go deeper to the concept of emotion, to the understanding the management of the emotion, not the control of the emotion, and cut from the root the idea about emotion is when you lose the control. Or one person with poker face, not manifesting any kind of happiness or panic. He doesn't have emotion. Come on, man. We cannot be out of emotion. We always are in one emotion. This is one specific kind of emotion that is extremely powerful. Emotion is not, I get emotional. I lost my control. No, we all the time are in one specific kind of emotion. Detecting, distinguish, and intervening in this emotion is the goal when we want to improve the performance in any professional or athletical domain. We live in a world of answers to questions we have never asked. This is one other coach from Chile, Julio Laya, genius. Okay, now going to the point. We have countless habits that we can check, and if needed change, which can dramatically improve our quality of life, health, performance, including longevity. We talked at the beginning of the content about small changes, exponential result. In GSA, we call quarks, referring to the smallest part of an atom. Now, I invite you to check your internal conversation while I am replicating one very common dialogue and conversation I have every day, almost every day with the people, no? But think about what happened when you connect what you listen with your reality, with your daily activities. For example, how do you wake up? Are you using an alarm? What kind of alarm? Are you aware that this is a special and powerful moment to set our physiology for the rest of the day? And how about, for example, playing soft music with different frequency that we don't have to be interrupted and rushed manner, in a rush manner, thus avoiding a cortisol spike? Are you aware that if you wake up with an alarm like an ambulance or police, you can elevate the cortisol at the level of almost 100% in less than 2 or 3 seconds, and this change drastically your physiology for the rest of the day? So we're talking about this kind of changes. Think about other quarks we can take into account when we get up. For example, normally, we wake up, we touch the alarm, we go and we start to rush. No, okay, but what happens if we are capable to be in calm, breathing consciously? For example, I put 9 cycles of deep inhale, hold, and exhale, moving in terms of the primary stretching like fetal position, hyperextension, or torsion, pumping and pulsating, moving the hand, moving the feet, and pulsating with the pelvic floor from the center to the periphery and the periphery to the center. And this took us more or less 3 minutes. So we are not talking about, we will be 3 hours doing biohacking in the morning. No. 3 minutes, minute and a half, breathing consciously, primary stretching, and pumping and pulsating. What about if we can organize a mini workout with strength, with intermittent training, with global mobility? What if we can have the habit to do a contrast shower, cold exposure, ice bath, sauna, or, for example, facial cold exposure? You can put only the face with very good and similar effect that cold exposure or ice bath. What about if we organize our day, if we can, of course, with natural exposure like walking, sunlight, and grounding, connecting with the heart and changing our electromagnetic field? Okay. People always ask, like, what I consider to be the best hack? Pay attention in this sequence and check your internal conversation. I say, wake up early. And they say, yes, but I am so tired. Go to sleep early. Yes, but I can't sleep. Stop wasting time on Netflix, video games, scrolling, and other shit. Yes, but I can't sleep early. Tire yourself out more. Work out harder or spend more energy on your project. You know, sometimes anxiety is a consequence of don't get tired. Organize the timetable in a smart way, scheduling your workout, your job, and other responsibilities. Avoiding idealization and planning what you can do without the fantasy of perfectionism. If someone get offended, sorry, but I speak out. Perfectionism is the elegant den of the cowards. I don't want to do that because I am perfectionist. Shit. You will not be able to do anything if you think in this way. Always you will have the excuse of perfectionism to get your result or to work for your goals. Now, with a simple panorama about designing the transformational process to apply the biohacking. First of all, look for a coach or mentor with the necessary competence to accompany you in the domain you want to get results. It's the best shortcut ever. For example, I remember when I started to to learn coding with Python, no, I want to learn by myself because I can, because I'm so smart. Bullshit. I was trying to understand one code 3 weeks, and in one moment I decide, okay, yes, I want to learn, but I don't have 100 years to practice. So I will look for someone to help me. In 3 minutes, I understood everything. I understood all what I was trying to watching one video, one channel, one post, one Telegram group, what because this is the best shortcut ever. Because very important point. If you want to learn about food, intermittent fasting, or autophagy, or senescent cells, or neuroscience, and you are with a degree in economics, you will be in a trouble. No, because I am very smart. You will be in a trouble because you are starting to research in this domain. It's not the same like one person starting to research in this domain like a 40, 50 years ago. It's like me trying to understand Python at 55 and trying to become an incredible coder like the kid practicing, like I don't know, like Snowden practicing from 6 years old and every day 8 hours. Impossible. So to understand, we have to look for a shortcut. This is the best way when people like connecting your concern with the domain they have expertise. After we have three basic steps: creating futures. So we are, as a living system, open to be designed, thinking you like a work of art, create your character, your movie, and in this way, start your own design, setting your goals, defining the KPIs, and now after, with the helping of the mentor, the coach, or the people you want to accompany you in the process, choosing core hacks, scheduling effective action, timeline, and checkpoints. And let's get ready to rumble like the boxer announcer. Warning: be ready to fail and come back. Accept the imperfections. Avoid at all costs the idealization. Focus on the average. Become a problem solver, not a creator. Have clear the priorities, and stick to the plan. Just to finish, I want to show you one simple panorama about domain of interaction. We can intervene in the body, in the mind, and emotion, in what we do, in our internal and external conversation, and emotion and mood, and in personal, sexual, family, professional, finance, social domains. We interact in all these domains, probably not another one. List of quarks. Check all the possibility you have to apply small changes to generate exponential results. We were talking about some, but at the same time, we need to understand when, how, the intensity, the volume, to avoid all kind of idealization. I repeat many times in this conversation because I think idealization destroys the processes. Primary biohacks and trilogies. If you ask me, okay, but what do you think is the most important thing we have to put focus to understand biohacking? Sleeping, intermittent fasting, and global systemic activation. Global systemic activation is not the brand of my company. It's global systemic activation is because it's movement, workout, and sexuality are the different way to activate our physiology. Intermittent fasting, and we have to put the focus in density, so nutritional density, autophagy, and smart hydration. And if we talk about sleeping, quantity, how many hours we sleep, how many cycles we sleep. We can take a nap or wake up in the morning, in the middle of the night, and the quality of sleep. Special dopamine biohacks. Stop to eat your favorite food for a period of time. Stop to use the phone. Stop to be online all the time. Block the music you like. Sometimes some biohackers say, don't be a pussy, stop to put music to do workout. Go and do workout. And yes, it's fine. Why? Okay, but try. If not, our brain start to be really weak. I want water. I want food. I want to know what that means, ChatGPT. I know. Oh, the brain start to be an idiot. So it's very important to train our brain and avoid the bad management of the dopamine. That's I call dopamine biohacks. Phone fasting, online fasting, music fasting, Netflix fasting, PlayStation fasting, silence day. Stop to talk sometime. It's very effective to work with the athlete and another person looking for high level of performance to say, okay, today we will not talk. And some group are doing silence experience like 2-3 days or 1 week, absolutely in total silence, what is really interesting. And at the end, with this and respecting the times, what would you like to hack and what for? Vlad, if you have some question, I would like to summarize with the intervention of the people and complete some interesting information, but according with the curiosity or concern the people, the community, the audience about that.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you so much. I think we asked for biohacking and we have gotten so much more. I think this is some of the information that I've heard for a while. A lot of new stuff too. I can only imagine what it's like to be hearing all this for the very first time. So thank you for the way that you have set the context for biohacking and not just going straight into it. I think it's very important to understand everything from the lens of mathematics, from the lens of biology, from the lens of systems and complexity. So I have a few questions. I'm also inviting everybody to drop your questions. I'm sure you guys might have questions about specific biohacks, about stuff that you already do that you want to check in with. This is the time that you can ask Copy anything at all. And I can't stress this. This is a very important moment. So I would love for you guys to drop some of your questions in the comments if you're on LinkedIn or if you're on YouTube. But Copy, I have a question. Well, I have a few questions for you. The one that for me, biohacking took a very it became a part of my life when I was suffering of what I can call chronic illness a couple of years ago. I was basically I basically had chronic gastritis, and basically every single day I had to go to the bathroom maybe 20 times a day. Very bad. My mood was destroyed. My immune system was destroyed. I was feeling very bad. And that's when I started talking with you, and I started asking you different things, and we slowly made changes. So my question for you is, can you tell me a bit more about biohacking in terms of food and nutrition and conscious eating? Because I know that that's something that you talk about a lot.
Great, Vlad. Thank you very much. This is a fundamental conversation, no? Because as we were talking, the tendency is I have to do that because this influencer is telling that, and basically when we don't have to think we are not. If we are with some health condition, okay, we have to find a way to have the balance to solve this situation. If we are athletes, we have to eat and drink and have different habits, different to if we are not athletes. If we are like a manager and we are not competing, we don't need to train like a crossfitter in the high level of competition. No, all the time I criticize directly. For example, one time my brother working in one office, not competing. Oh, they made me do like a clean and press with what for? If you are in an office, and they break the back. What for? Make sense? If you are a high performing athlete, put a track in your back and try to move, because you need to be exposed to high level of intensity and complexity when you train. But if you are not a high level athlete, professional, you don't need to do that. If you have a problem with some disease, okay, you can have 100% keto diet or extremely rigorous OCD intermittent fasting with zero carbo. But if you don't have a problem, you don't need to do that. So we need to understand that we have to process the information and adapt the information and training and workout and habit and all the biohack to our reality. Our reality, I mean, our background, our genetical condition, our ethnical group, our weather condition is not the same if you are living alone, if you are living with the family, with kids, if you are living in the Polo North, or you are living in the middle of the jungle with 45 degrees. So we need to understand the adaptation of all the system and methodology to our individual or particular condition. But basically, Brad, if we talk about general global approach, very simple. We organize with the GSA team. This is our coaching tool we share with the people working with us is what yes, what no, and the proportion. No, one of the best confusion is no, because I have to eat light, and light is one of the worst decision you can do. If we want to protect our health, our heart condition, our shape, avoid the risk of diabetes, inflammatory process, hormonal dysregulation, we have to eat food with high level of density: organ meat, chicken, pork, bone broth, fish, seafood, bacon, eggs. So protein and fat. We cannot blame the meat or the fat what produce exactly the sugar. The problem is the sugar. Cholesterol is not bad. Cholesterol is the primary matter of the testosterone. We have cholesterol, pregnenolone, androstenedione, and testosterone or estrogen. Without cholesterol, we reduce the span life. But they made us believe that cholesterol is the monster, the demon. No. Cholesterol is like one very nice doctor from Mexico. I don't remember the name, but very, very nice, brilliant in the exposition of this subject. Is say cholesterol is like a tree around the house. They protect you. They generate more oxygen. They create a very good environment for your living. The problem if we have a fire, the house will be fired quickly. But it's not about cholesterol; it's about sugar that ignite the fire and generate the problem. That's why we have to understand what yes, what no. Important the proportion, nutritional density food, protein and fat, and minimum carbohydrate. They made us believe we have to reduce the animal fat and absolutely not. We have to reduce what? This we have to reduce. We have to reduce this sugar and artificial sweetener, processed oil, and all bread, grain, and flour food. Oh, how come, Capi? You told us long time that bread and grain and flour were good. Yes, were good. 100 years ago, probably. Now, all the grain are contaminated, and we have serious problem to assimilate. Why? Basically, I cannot explain deeper, but basically because the first type of wheat, for example, to make bread, or the first grain, had more or less 2 or 3 gluten. Today, the flour we are eating and the bread we are eating every day, 14, 17 is one protein, very difficult to assimilate. So coming back to the conversation about bread is good, I don't know what kind of bread. But for example, pasta is bad, I tell the Italian, they don't have obesity, they don't have problem with the heart disease, with the diabetes, and they are eating pasta every day. Why? Because the wheat is a very good quality. Why the French, they don't have the same problem? They don't have obesity, they don't have problem, because they are using a lot of amount of fat, animal fat, butter.
Yeah, and in America, we try to do all these hacks, and then 65% of the population is obese.
Yes, and also one incredible fact is, vegan, okay, do whatever you want. But the factual evidence is the population with high level of vegan have the big problem with diabetes, obesity, hormonal dysregulation, and skinny fat. India.
Yeah.
In Japan, they don't have obesity. They don't have. But in China, they have. Basically, the Japanese never eat the rice hot. And they are based, their food is based on fish, protein, eggs. Tamago togohan. Tamago togohan is rice with egg. But it's 6 eggs with a small amount of rice. It's not rice with half. Oh no, it's too much. You can eat 30 eggs if you can. What is really bad is one big plate of rice with a small part of protein. No, because I am avoiding the yellow part of the eggs. What for? Probably no one supplement have the nutrient this part of the eggs have. So everything changed. That's why I invite the people to research, to ask, to consult, and learn again about nutrition and hydration and supplementation. We have also to finish your about your question. Smart use food like a sorrel bread, seasoned and local fruit, buckwheat and rice, raw honey, watermelon, green apples, and I will share with you something interesting, that this some biohack we can use with the coffee, no? Coffee plus ghee, coconut oil or butter, we call bulletproof. And Dave Asprey, was the creator of this bulletproof. But now we can mix coffee with collagen and glycine, I think this is the pronunciation, we call pro bulletproof. And also we can mix coffee plus 100% chocolate, super bulletproof. Also, to finish the global approach about your answer is, about your question is, recommended healthy fruit. Like this fruit are not high in carb and are high in nutrient. What happened when you say, no, fruit is good, I am using some fruit is good? It's water with sugar, and the level of vitamin and nutrient are almost nothing. No, but the vitamin C, yes. You need 5 kilos of orange to put together not 1 gram of vitamin C, you will eat 5 kilos of orange every day. No, so it's a deceptive, but it's a propaganda also. So we need to start to be alert and process the information and adapt the information to our necessities.
That's amazing. And I have an amazing follow-up question from Laura Bolaños, one of the people watching today. She asks, what nootropics, because we're talking about supplements, right? What nootropics do you recommend to enhance memory and focus?
Okay. Look, nootropics are very interesting, very interesting supplementation because they don't have side effects. No, are you watching the screen?
Yes, we
Okay.
can see it.
This is our digital brain in GSA, in Obsidian. So, Laura, we cannot talk a lot about that, but for example, we have the summary of different nootropics like piracetam, modafinil, Bacopa monnieri, lion's mane, rhodiola rosena, copcolina, L-theanina, omega-3, ginseng. Look, I have a lot. Here is the same, but in the like a bubble, like a neuronal net. But the important thing is, in my opinion, the most important nootropic is creatina. Creatina is the most studied supplement in the history. It's not about muscle mass. It's not about strength and velocity and performance for athletes. It's about cognitive process. They are using creatine to reduce the risk of cognitive disease to prevent the effect of Alzheimer, and also in the post-traumatic situation or surgeries, because it's very simple. Creatine, used in creatine as a nootropic is like this. First one, to simplify, you have to use more or less 1 gram each 10 kilos every day. Doesn't matter if you train or not. It's not about cycle of creatine. Why? Of course, I am summarizing everything and simplifying a lot of information. But why? Because creatine is the last part of one metabolic sequence. It's ATP, adenosine triphosphate, plus phosphocreatine. If you have enough creatine, you perform in the high level. If you don't have available the creatine, you reduce the performance. But no, we are not talking about performance in the Olympic game or Grand Slam or MMA. We are talking about performance in your job, in your health, in your quality life, in longevity, in all the aspects of our life. So, nootropics are one of the best hacks we can consider. But at the same time, remember the metaphor of puzzle. Nootropics don't solve anything if you are not training, sleeping well, moving, using smart hydration, and basically finding the balance with the basic necessity you have in your life. So we don't have to find the magical solution with one part of the biohacks. We have to understand that they are working connected, integrated, and generated one complex system working together.
Incredible, Laura. I hope that helps. I have another question, Capi. That's a very interesting one. This is from Adrian Pape. I'm gonna put it on the screen. It's pretty big, but I'm gonna read it to you. If you have a chronic illness, how long can it take to feel a positive improvement through biohacking? Is it important to use individual biohacks to see which one works? Or can biohacking be used for a general change of habits?
Thank you, Adrian. Interesting question and very smart. First of all, we have different kind of biohackers. We have biohacker doctors in the domain of medical and in the domain of academic, scientists, neuroscience, psychologists, coaches, trainers, educators, no academic titles, but very clear. If you have a problem with the health, the first step is consult with the doctor. With the diagnosis, doesn't matter the grade or the professional domain of the coach of the biohacker accompany you in your process can help you. That means something like that. For example, if you have a problem with your ankle because you twist your ankle and you come to train with me, I will tell you, okay, go to the doctor, give me the diagnosis, tell me exactly what you have in your bone. If you have damage in the tendon or the joint or the bone, and do the physiotherapy. When the doctor and physiotherapist say, okay, good, the coaches will work from the health to up. If you come to the doctor and say, hello, doctor, how are you? I don't have any problem, but I want to improve. The doctor will tell you, I don't have nothing to do with you. So in this moment, coaches and biohacker can help you. But we don't have to confuse domain. I cannot go to resolve one hepatitis or one addiction problem or one surgery. Why? Because I am scientist, educator. I have 7 careers, but not in the medical domain. Okay, not in the medical domain. So I am very, very clear with this. The ethical aspect is essential. If you have a problem with your health, go to the doctor and check the doctor, because a lot of doctors without bad intention, they are giving medication. There, I will take the opportunity to tell that, no, if you go to the doctor and without any question and conversation, they give medication, it's not a doctor, it's a dealer. Like Dr. James Di Nicolo Antonio said, no? Because, okay, I have a headache. Okay, how is your life? You train, you don't train? How do you eat? Are you good with your family? Are you good with your relationship? Are you good with your job? You have economical problem or not? And this gives us one background to understand what kind of interaction we can do as a doctor, as an educator, psychologist, coaches, therapists, or trainers. Okay? But what is important, Adrian, is I don't recommend the use of part of the biohacks. I recommend, and probably Vlad, you will help me with the proper translation. But if you don't change everything, you don't change anything. Si no cambias todo, no cambias nada. Decirlo, Vlad, en...
If you don't change everything, you change nothing.
Exactly. Okay. This is my opinion, my observation. Everybody has the temptation to, oh, I will start to do that. Okay, but you will not see result if you are working or implementing different isolated biohacks or isolated training or isolated or eating good. For example, if you have to decide between eat good, train good, or sleep good, sleep. Because without good quality and enough hours of sleeping, doesn't matter how you eat or how you train. You will not have balance in your life. Sleeping is one of the most important biohacks. After, train. I don't know if training, but move. And to be clear, if you don't train, move. If you don't move, have sex. or have some of these three, but activate every day. If you have to rest, rest. But consider these three kind of activation like the base of the health of our physiology. You want to eat good? Oh no, I want to do intermittent fasting. Yeah, but if you are doing intermittent fasting and you are not eating it with proper density, it's bad. If you are not broken fast with protein and fat, you will generate more complications than solutions. If you are doing intermittent fasting and you are not eating enough nutrient and supplement, probably you will be in risk. So I recommend you to one integrated approach, systemic approach, not isolated changes, because isolated changes are deceptive and generate confusion in the analysis of the result.
Amazing. Capi, do you have time for one more question?
Of course, of course.
Okay, so Nicolas Acosta asked you a question, but I'm gonna leave that as a bonus because it's a little bit less
Okay.
related to biohacking. There was another question by Gabriel, and he's asking, "What do you mean by hacking sexuality?" I think this is a good question.
Okay, great, great. Everybody, when we talk about sexuality, sexuality. What is the difference? Have sex or do squat? It's not different. But in our mind, we have shit and we say, no, no, no. Why? It's very simple. If we consider all the biohacks, no one hack generate the physiological activation that generate smart sex. Paying attention, smart sex. Oh, it's like, you have to train. No, you don't have to train. You have to decide what kind of training is good for you. Oh, you have to have sex. No, it's not about have sex. What kind of sex is convenient? People with some disease need to consider the sex in another way than the people with good level of health, people with good level of performance. But basically, also we have to consider the difference between men and girls and men and women. No? Why? Because the way to have smart sex for the men is different if we consider the way to have smart sex for the woman. Basically, because the woman, when they have sex, they are not losing DNA. All the secretion is internally in the women's, and it's external in the men. So it's not the last new. No, from 5,000 years ago, Chinese medicine, Indian medicine, Shintoist medicine say very clear that it's very, very important understand the proper management of the seminal retention for the men and the proper activation for the girl. So basically, to summarize the answer is men have to have sex considering the managing of the seminal retention. So as much sex as they can, but regulating the ejaculation. And the women, they need to, if we are using the sex as a part of activation, health, longevity, it's very simple. They can have all the sex they want with the orgasm they want, because the ejaculation is internal and is generating benefit in the women physiology.
That is amazing. I think that out of all of the things that is worth exploring, this one is the single most interesting one because it's a big taboo in our society. It's something that we don't talk about enough, or if we talk about, we talk in a very different context. And I think opening up a conversation about this is very important. Like you said, this is probably the most important thing, you know? So I think that is very, I would encourage, I know for sure you would, but I would encourage people to look for even more than this, to study a little bit more, explore more.
It's good to open the conversation about this like a taboo subject, because, for example, I remember one of my first reading about Einstein said, all the scientists are crazy about the theory of universe, physics, and mathematics. All the economists are crazy trying to solve the law of the market. But the world is leading for sex and food.
So true.
And one incredible sentence in biohacking said is, if you cannot manage your mouth, your sex, and your workout, you cannot manage anything.
I agree. I agree. Incredible. Capi, one last quick one. I'm going to change a little bit the question to make it relevant for us, but Nicolas Acosta is asking basically, how do I maintain a process that is unpredictable, in which I'm not always seeing progress, and sometimes I have a lot of setbacks? It's very difficult to keep the motivation of a person going through this process. So, how can you maintain that
Great, great,
process?
great, Nico. First one, I hate the concept, the distinction of motivation. Motivation is like a carrot in front of the horse, no? When the carrot have when the horse have the carrot in front, he ran. When the carrot is not anymore in front, he stopped. So motivation, I will speak out. Motivation is shit because it's always depend of the external factor. I will talk about commitment. Commitment is when you give your word to reach your goals, repeating the effective action, the necessary time you need to get the result. And that's why we cannot consider the idealization of the planning. I never use planning because planning is not true. I always talk about designing the process, accepting the fluctuation, chaotic dynamic, random dynamic, disturbances, all the changes we cannot control. If we stop with the fantasy of control and we accept that the only thing we can do in the living system is reduce the grade of uncertainty, so we can manage in the smart way all the changes of the processes with our own flexibility, correcting all the drifts in different part of the timeline we call checkpoint, and also based consider all our decisions based on numbers, based on KPIs, key performance indicator. We cannot manage, we cannot register, we cannot have a good smart administration if we are not capable to register and summarize the number and all the dynamic in the different checkpoint. We have one thing for sure: the process never, coaches, please. ¿Cómo se dice? El diablo sabe por diablo.
The devil knows the devil.
But more, he knows because he is old, ¿no? Ya, decilo, Vlad, decilo para que lo entiendan todo.
The devil knows the devil, but he knows it more because he's old. Like, he has experience. He knows what
Exactly.
he's talking about.
The process never will be like you plan. So if you are not smart to understand that, you will crash all the time with the frustration.
Amazing. Capi, thank you so much. We're way past 90 minutes already. Thank you so much. These were all the questions. I think that there is definitely space for one more or 10 more conversation at least. So I would love to continue bringing you here.
We are warriors. We practice long time together. I will commit yourself. We will do this conversation in Spanish, and we will do one step forward. So we have to organize everything to keep our work with the people now.
Yes, 100%. I agree. Capi, thank you so much. Please follow him on Instagram. I have the links right here on the bottom. This was amazing. I've learned so much. I'm sure that all of you guys have learned as well. This is the kind of stuff that we want to offer to you guys on amethystclub.io. But if you are more interested again in learning more about biohacking, a lot about biology, complexity, training, coaching, I really, really want you to follow Capi and his team on global systemic activation, because it's the kind of knowledge that he posts out there is there's nowhere else that you're gonna get it, and you know that. Capi, one more time, thank you so much. We will see you again very, very soon. And to everyone else, have a great rest of your day.
Thank you very much. I'm Bushi no Ichigon.
Bushino Ichigon.